Hi, so this is going to be a little demo of the special class, which is the Rune Priest. And it's a class you need to get a special item for, which you get from a world boss in, I think it's Strombrod. He patrols around and you have to find him and get a group together to kill him, and only one person gets the loot, which is a book that lets you create a character of this class, so it's quite an achievement to be one of these guys. And for starters, you're going to be noticing these runes that are popping up around me. You can right click them and it gives you one rune. Just up there, that's your runes there. And you can use them for your more powerful abilities, so you're going to want to basically be getting every one you see. Other than that, you have 200 mana, which is used only for Rune of Power, which, you cast it, it uses up all your mana regenerates, as it does, and you get this Rune of Power for, I think, 1 minute? Yeah, 1 minute. And it increases your damage by 50% while you stand inside, but it also does for enemies, I'm sure. I'm not sure, actually, that was a lie, I'm not sure. I think it does for enemies, I know it does for group mates, so you can kind of buff your group with that. And so for starters, I'm using a spec that reduces the rune cost of all your special abilities by 50%. So this would normally cost 4, I believe, or 3. Yeah, 3. And it costs 2 for me because I had to round up, because otherwise 1 would be very, very overpowered. This here usually costs 10, it costs 5 for me. It's very powerful, it's your strongest ability. It's incredibly strong. This here usually costs 8, I believe. I think it's 8, and it costs 4 for me. This usually costs 6, or something along those lines. It costs 3 for me. Which is that's an interesting one. That's good. This here costs nothing apart from mana. And this also costs nothing apart from mana, but they do different things. This one does damage, this one just roots them in place, but you can input them both on at the same time. And this is just your filler. So, once you put this down, you're going to need that for every fight. You're not going to want to do a fight where you don't have that. So anyway, let's do this, and we can put on a Rune of Binding on him, so that's going to, after 5 seconds, if it's not dispelled, he's going to get rooted like that. I can put on a Rune of Destruction, which will do the same thing, except after the 5 seconds, it's going to deal a bunch of damage to him, which is nice. And here you've got your Rune Weaving, which is just very powerful channel spell, just like that. And it does damage and roots him in place. So I'll just get rid of him. And I'll show you, I've got 7, so I can show you Rune of Azrael, which is your most powerful spell. And that's just going to tick over 5 seconds and deal a lot of damage. 2800 damage. Just let him die. You don't really have any damage over time, it's damage after time for the most part, which is an interesting concept, I think. And you also got, of course, Open Portal, which requires one of these Rune of Greater Portals. And once you have this portal, anybody who sees it while it's open can go through this portal, but only Rune Priest can create them. And when you go through, it'll take you to the Rune Priest hub. And yeah, there's just the Royal Rune Guards. That's just kind of the guards of the zone. If you come up here, it just takes a while to get to the top. But when you get to the top, you've got your trainer, your a vendor, and someone who sells an infinite supply of these Rune of Greater Portals, because usually you can only buy them in sets of, it's like stock of 10 from the normal capital city or something like that. So they're not always going to be available unless you just buy one to start with, so you can come here to stock up. So I believe this will just give you a ring, and that's the best caster ring that you can get for just gold, and it's only available to people who can come here. And here is just Great Portals, and you've got Lord Mython, who is the Ancient Rune King, of course, and he is going to be a quest giver in future, I suppose. You got some training dummies, you got transport masters, so you can go wherever you want. You've got just your trainer here. And so that's essentially the Rune Priest. They are a very cool, very powerful class. You've also got your heal here, which just heal an ally for an enormous amount after 5 seconds, so it's all the gated kind of after 5 seconds things. And that's pretty much it for the Rune Priest. Thanks for watching, let me know what you think.